Happy New Year! I wish you the absolute best and I hope you have a very happy and healthy new year. And that's really what it's all about, right? Like thinking about what we've done in the past and how we can improve upon that and become better, healthier, happier people in the future. And I love that about New Year's because I'm all about new beginnings, starting fresh, making good choices that better than yesterday, focusing on how can I improve. But we all know, because it's very cliche, that New Year's resolutions can be kind of difficult to keep. And there's a few reasons for that. And beyond that, I'm gonna give you some tips and some motivation for how you can actually follow through with your New Year's resolutions this year and how you can attain that health and happiness that you're looking for. I'm all about self-improvement. It hasn't always been easy for me. I've had a lot of struggles with my weight loss journey, which if you're interested in learning more about that, you can check out my video on my struggle with weight loss. And it's very hard to accept that this transformation doesn't happen overnight. And in fact, it takes a long time to get to the goal that you're looking for. And I'm telling you that because I think it's very important to understand that to get to the goal that you're looking for, it's gonna take effort. It's gonna be uncomfortable at times. It's gonna be difficult. You're gonna go backwards at times, but that's all part of the journey and that's normal, and everybody has to go through that in order to get to that end goal that they're looking for. If it were easy, everybody would do it. So I guess the big question is, are resolutions a good idea? And as you know, a lot of people make resolutions every year, and some of the more common resolutions relate to healthy lifestyles like quitting smoking, going back to the gym, getting in shape, drinking more water. All these have this really positive vibe of, I want to be a healthier person. And I think that's awesome. If resolutions help you identify your goals and help you have a target for how to achieve that, that is great. But what happens is a lot of people try that specific goal without really understanding that it requires an entire lifestyle change rather than just changing one small piece of one's life. So really to get there, we have to have this new identity of someone who reaches this goal. It's not I'm going to quit smoking, it's I no longer smoke, right? And it's really in working towards that lifestyle change that you're gonna have those different goals really stick, and you're gonna get past those 2 to 3 weeks after the new year and be successful. It's also how you're gonna maintain those goals after you reach them. It's all about how you identify and how you achieve a healthy lifestyle that you enjoy, that you can do forever. In a nutshell, you'll need the following to create successful goals. The first one is accountability. You need to be accountable to yourself to follow through with that promise. You're accountable for how you change your behavior. You're accountable for following through. You're really accountable for how you go about these changes. Another important factor is your drive towards motivation and focus. Being able to stay motivated and to continue to focus on the goal, even in the absence of motivation, is the key to success here. And priority. Prioritizing your focus is so important because we have so many things that can take our focus and our time. So having the ability to prioritize the important pieces and let all that other noise go away is very important. All right, so now let's talk about some really good tips for how to keep your New Year's resolution and make this change for good. And I want you to keep these in mind as you work towards your goals this year. Number one, focus on one thing at a time. A lot of people with New Year's resolutions just want to be healthier. So they start going to the gym, they cut out sugar, they start drinking water, they start running every day, and it becomes a little overwhelming because this new change is taking over your life. Instead, focus on one of those goals, master that, and then move on to the rest. That's going to make you more successful. You're going to have quicker wins. Even though they're small, they will build on each other, and you're going to get more and more excited as you have these wins. This is the opposite of setting yourself up for failure. It's basically you can't not fail in that situation, and then build on that. Second, make your goals specific, measurable, and time-oriented. You want to find a way that you can identify have you reached your goal and in what time frame have you met it. And so that's very important when we're doing this because it's just an abyss of the future. We're wanting to crush a goal, celebrate it, and then move on to the next one. And to do that, we need to have identifiable goals that we can check off. Instead of having more abstract goals like I want to be healthier, I want to be fitter, those don't really have very measurable ways to identify that. And if we achieve it, we wouldn't even really know because that target would keep moving because it's so abstract. So for example, if one of your goals is that you want to run more and you want to do more cardio, the first time you get on the treadmill, you're not going to run a 6-minute mile. You're going to struggle and it's going to take some walking, and maybe the majority of it is walking, and that's okay. The first day, you just go for the 10 minutes and you get that done however you need to to get it done. Maybe you're walking for 2 minutes and then the next day you go 2.5 minutes. It's all about that incremental, measurable goal setting. And then when you're making that progress, it's so motivating and it really gives you a lot more energy to keep going because you can see where you were and you can see how far you've already come. Next, you want to set yourself up for success. And to start off with, you need an easy win. Set a goal that you can do easily, that isn't very hard, but it requires a little bit of effort and you know you will be successful at it. A great example of this is to go back to the idea of quitting sugar. It's not ideal to try to cut sugar out of everything all at once. Cold turkey. You know, you can start by cutting back on the sugar that you put into your coffee. Once you get used to that little bit that you've already started to get rid of, then you can take a little bit more out of there. You can change the type of sugar you're using from granulated sugar to coconut sugar. You can just incrementally make better choices that build on themselves. And then before you know it, you're gonna think things that have a lot of sugar in them are too sweet. You're not gonna be grabbing for those fruit juices. You're gonna be surprised at how your taste buds are changing and you actually like more raw and clean foods. And it's just gonna be a downhill run at that point. And then once you get used to reducing the sugar from there, then you focus on other types of processed foods and then you start eliminating those slowly and gradually and incrementally. You need those successes in order to achieve your final goals because it's just human nature. If we don't get rewarded, we don't really want to do the thing. That's what's so difficult about paying attention to the scale is that when it doesn't reflect what we're wanting, it bothers us and we feel like we're failing. Next, you want to create a big goal, but with small stepping stones along the way. I want you to dream big. I want you to have audacious, giant goals that are amazing and will just be the best thing ever. Because that gives us motivation for what we can achieve and it allows you to expand your mind beyond what you currently are. But it's impossible to go from A to giant big goal overnight. There are so many steps along the way, so many processes in that journey. It's gonna require time and effort like we've talked about. So that's where those small stepping stones come into play is because we want those wins. We want little wins along the way that keep us motivated, give us more incentive to keep going, and make us feel like we're making progress. Because you are. You know, most of us can't just wake up and say, I want to go run a marathon. Gosh, I would never want to do a marathon. You need to train for that. You need to teach your body how to sustain the pain and the effort and the duration of running and what you're going to do to your body in a marathon. It's the same for weight loss. It's the same for financial stability. It's the same for parenting. It's the same across the board on how to be better at what you're doing and how to achieve goals that are important to you. Next, you need to understand your why. What do I mean by that? Find out why these goals mean so much to you. Understanding the why behind your goal is a game changer for your success. Are you doing this for yourself? Are you doing it because you've lost who you are and this is a way to reconnect with who you feel you are? Are you doing this so you can keep up with your kids, so you can be healthy enough to live to see them get married and play with their grandkids? Are you doing it because you used to be an athlete and that's how you identify and you need to get back to that identity? You know, what form of self-love is this why for you? Those are all great reasons, and there's so many other great reasons. In my 30-day healthy program, we talk a lot about the mantra and what our why is in deciding to make better choices for our health. And I hear so many different whys from all the women that go through the program, and they're all important and they all make sense. It's also why a doctor telling us to go do something doesn't work. It has to come from inside. It has to come from your own motivation. And I want to make a quick note about adding in some exercise or some daily movement. Getting your body moving on a daily basis is so valuable on so many levels. Not only does it reduce inflammation, it also increases your endorphins, it makes you feel good, and it gives you more motivation to keep going. It's a huge part of how I was successful. Yes, I lost weight with no cardio, and I didn't do much exercise, and I just focused on the food, and I do think that the food is a huge part of it, but adding in some exercise and taking care of your body that way is so helpful as well. And when I say exercise, I don't mean go torture yourself on a run if you don't like runs. I really don't like running. You can watch my video on how I lost my weight without cardio, but if you can just find a way to just get daily steps, that's really gonna help you out in the long run, and it's gonna increase your overall calorie burning in a day, and it'll just improve your overall quality of life as well. And if you need an accountability partner, I'm here to help you. I have a brand new program called the Cleanish Movement, and it's 90 days of daily support, meal plans, exercise routines, and just a bunch of help to get you going to hit those resolutions and to really get started being successful, because I know you can do it and I'm here to help. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and on reaching those new resolutions that you have set. I'm proud of you for trying to make better changes, and I will see you in the next video.